Hey guys, and welcome back to the WODdoc Project 365, Episode 9. The last couple days we kind of went through and explored a whole bunch of different squat sequencing drills, and we talked about some squat faults and how we might fix them. Today, we're going to talk about one of what I think is the primary suspect, or the major culprit in limiting our ability to reach the full depth of the squat. So what I mean by that is that anybody or any one of you guys who can't get all the way down to the bottom of the squat, I'm going to talk about the muscle that I think limits you the most. You know, people go around and everybody and their brother has a different explanation to what might fix that, or what is that limiting factor. And the hamstrings are the ones that normally get brought up all the time. Unfortunately, the hamstring is a two-joint muscle, meaning that it goes past your hip and also past your knee. So the relative bending of the knee relaxes the hamstring towards the relative bending of the hip. So even if a person has tight hamstrings, it's generally not the primary limiting factor to the ability to squat. Now, the one that I think is the primary limiting factor is what we call the adductor magnus. And that's a muscle that actually attaches inside your groin there. Does everybody know, or if they could just take their finger and put it on their butt bone right underneath? That butt bone right there, there's a muscle that attaches from right there and runs down the inside part of their leg, but only attaches on the upper end of the knee, okay? That muscle is called your adductor magnus. Now, there's several different portions and several different fibers of it. Some of it assists the flexion of the knee. Some of it assists the extension, of the hip. The flexion of the hip or the extension of the hip. And of course, as an adductor, it also helps pull the knee in towards the midline of the body. Now, this muscle doesn't get that relative relaxation from the flexing of the knee when you bend the hip, because it only goes past one joint. So today we're gonna attack that. So today we're gonna attack that adductor magnus, and we're gonna see if we can get better results in the depth of squat. We're gonna do that in two different ways. We're gonna hit the top portion of it with a lacrosse ball. We're gonna do a lacrosse ball smash. Okay, I'm gonna show you exactly how you're gonna do this. You're gonna take this lacrosse ball. You're gonna set it down. It works the best on the corner of a table. That way you can straddle the top of the table. You're gonna set it down on the table. You're gonna now sit pretty much right on that same butt bone that you would. You'll be able to feel that butt bone, and from right there, you're gonna move back just a little bit, and you're gonna fall off the butt bone closer to your knee. So if I'm up here, I'm sliding backwards so that the ball slides closer to the bottom of my knee. And as soon as I get off the butt bone, and I move just a little bit so the ball comes to the inside of my leg, I'm going to feel myself on that muscle. And it's generally a pretty tender feeling. So from right there, I'm going to call this sensation a 10, okay? I'm going to roll around in a circle or a diamond-shaped pattern, okay? Completing, going from the top to the bottom, left and the right of that tender spot. I'm going to continue to do that until how long? Until there's a change, okay? I want that 10 to turn into a 5. So I roll around a couple different directions, always constantly going over that pattern until that 10 turns into a 5. If it takes 10 seconds, that's awesome. If it takes a minute, then it takes a minute. If it takes 10 minutes that day, well, then you're just unlucky for that day. Now, the rest of the muscle has to be attacked with a foam roller. And the way we're going to do that, we're going to set the foam roller down on the ground, okay? We're going to bring the foam roller up as high as we can into our crotch area, and we're going to feel like we're right on our butt bone all over again. The way we do it first is you're going to feel that if you keep your legs straight, you're going to get some of those superficial tissues, okay? And you'll be able to find maybe a hot spot here and there. But what we really want to do to get to the deeper tissues of the adductor magnus is we want to bend our legs. That's going to relax any of the muscles that go past the knee, okay, and slack the tissue so that we can get deeper into the adductor magnus. We're going to roll all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down. And again, we can do this. If we find a hot spot, the same rule applies. If there's a hot spot, it generally will be down towards the end, the end or distal 1/3 of the top of the leg here. But if we find a hot spot, we roll it until it cuts in half. If we don't, generally speaking, 20 to 30 passes takes about 3 seconds a pass, or 2 minutes is about what we want to try to do. How do we know if it worked? Well, we took our squat in the beginning, so I'm going to take my same squat in the end. Do I feel a difference between the one I just worked on versus the one I didn't? If I did, then it was successful. So guys, go ahead, try that out. Try to do the lacrosse smash onto the adductor, the insertion portion of it. Try to do the foam roller onto the end or the meaty portion of it, and tell me how that works for you. All right. So tomorrow or tonight, we're gonna try to spend 2 minutes on here, and we're gonna try to spend a couple minutes with the ball. And until next time, we're optimizing function until we optimize performance.